Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of What's the Tea with Dan and Adam. So today's episode is a little bit different. We're going to basically go into a kind of an emotional state of my life, and this was something that people have been asking for. I put a post on Instagram asking if you guys would be interested, and basically everyone said yes. So here it is. Today's episode is all going to be about me, Dan, and the way I came out to my family and friends. So growing up, I don't think I had anything crazy going on in my childhood. I had a mom and a dad who loved me unconditionally. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes at the age of 2. And from there, I don't remember anything crazy. And there's a lot of people that say, oh, well, when did you know you were gay? And what happened? How did you tell people? So I wanted to dig a little bit deeper and kind of let you guys all know what happened and how that whole process went down, because I think it's an important thing for people to learn a little bit about your story and where you are and how you are as a kid. If I do get emotional, I am sorry, because there are things that kind of stay in my memory that kind of trigger me. So I apologize for that. But let's see, starting off with my childhood. Again, I don't remember anything about being attracted to guys. It was kind of not really a thing until I hit middle school. But there has been some proof, and I have some proof here in my baby book, with all my pictures from when I was little, that could have hinted to my family that, maybe Danny was gay at the time. So I went through and I pulled out some pictures. I found two specific ones that really struck my mind. And I would say this is about 5th grade probably. So these pictures are from around 5th grade. For those of you that know, growing up, I played all types of sports. I was a basketball player. I played soccer when we lived in Florida. I played baseball. I played football. My parents made me try everything, and there was not really anything that I loved. So the story about coming into cheerleading is something totally different. But one day, my neighbors around the corner and my sister, we all played dress up. And my sister, being a cheerleader and a dancer, she had all these outfits that I always wanted to try on, or that I did try on. So a little story behind these pictures. We just decided to play dress up one day. And little did we know that, let me try to cover faces, that is Dan right there in that blue outfit. And yeah, I'm looking pretty happy, and I think that I enjoyed wearing that. Also, the same day, we had this picture taken. So, yep, that is me standing nice and proud in a wedding dress. It's funny to see these pictures because growing up, I didn't think anything was different. I didn't think I was raised differently than anyone else, but it goes to show that there were little clues since I was little that led to me being who I am today, and I am so proud of it. And I honestly think that my family knew the whole entire time, but I guess every person has their own journey and their own reason for coming out and telling people they're gay. So this is my story, but a little background information. This was really funny to see. My parents always said that when I was younger, I had an attitude, and being diagnosed with diabetes, that kind of gave me an excuse to have an attitude because I was moody all the time. Okay, believe it, think what you want to think, but I genuinely think that my attitude and my sassiness started when I was younger, and here I am today. So growing up, I didn't really notice anything. My sister was always involved with dance and cheerleading, and I always found that interesting. Rather than me going outside to play football or hang out with friends, I would go in my bedroom and learn my sister's cheerleading routines. I would stunt on a stool, pretend I was a flyer, stretch myself, and learn the dances. Basically, I was a cheerleader in my bedroom only, and eventually that turned into what I do now. So that was a little bit of a heads up that there was something going on there. And growing up, my whole family was supportive in anything that we did. We were a normal family, nothing really happened. It didn't start until middle school that I started noticing something was different. I actually was in middle school and I had a crush on a substitute teacher. Didn't tell anyone, of course. I'm a little 8th grader, and I would get so happy when the substitute came in. I wasn't sure if I was just happy that the substitute was nice to me or I was attracted to him. I really wasn't sure what it was, but that's the first time I really noticed that I was attracted to guys. And I always thought girls were pretty. I still do. There's things about women that you can never find in a man, and that's just the honest truth. And I think 8th grade is when I finally realized, hey, maybe I'm gay. Maybe this is something different. But yeah, middle school, I think, is when I noticed. And then going into high school, I didn't want anyone to know that I was gay. So I always tried to pretend like I had a girlfriend. I went through a stage where I told a girl I was gay that lived in a different town, and I basically asked her if I could say that she was my girlfriend, and she agreed to it. Didn't think anything of it. She understood where I was coming from, so it was kind of nice to have someone to talk to. And this person was not someone that I was close with, just someone that I met on, I think, MySpace at the time. And it was kind of an eye-opener that if a total stranger was okay with me being gay, I don't know what I was hiding from or what my friends were gonna think. I always grew up thinking, or not growing up, but I always thought, oh my God, what if my friends don't like me? What if I get bullied? What if my family disowns me? And these are things that I probably should not have thought of, because if they cared about me and they loved me like they say they did, anything could have happened and they should have still showed that support. So thinking back at it, it was kind of silly for me not to tell anyone, and my high school life kind of would have been changed a lot differently. I would have been probably a cheerleader for my high school because it was something I enjoyed that I was afraid to do. And that's the only thing that I would do over again if I were to able to go back and change the past of high school. I would probably try out for cheerleading and probably lead me to a different group of friends. But I'm so grateful to meet the people that I did meet when I was in high school, and I'm close with them. And there's my friends through thick and thin. So going through high school years, I was always friends with girls, and my family never really asked anything about it. I didn't really have guy friends, I guess, because I didn't have the same interests as them. So growing up, I had girlfriends come over all the time, and my parents wouldn't really ask, oh, are you dating them? There were actually times where my parents would ask, oh, you're having a sleepover? Are you sleeping in the same bed? And my friends now can still vouch for me today that growing up, one day, my dad sat on the staircase and waited for me to go to sleep when my friend was sleeping over, who was a girl who I'm still friends with. And I wasn't sure why. I guess he thought something would have happened and I would have been doing something bad that I shouldn't have if I had a girl sleep over. But we were innocently watching cheerleading videos in the living room, and that was it. So my dad wouldn't go to sleep until we went to bed. But I don't know if he was hoping or he knew that I wasn't interested in girls. But basically going through high school years, there were so many signs that I think people kind of picked up on. The fact that I told people I was dating other people. I even lied and told my close friends that I got someone pregnant because I didn't want them to know that I was gay. And it's so silly to think of this now, but I guess I didn't want to be bullied. I was bullied in elementary school for things that went on with my family. I was always self-conscious about a lot of things. And I thought, hey, this is just going to be another thing for people to make fun of me about. So let's try to hide it. And I hid in the closet, and that was my life for a while. I wouldn't say I came out by myself. It wasn't my choice to come out and tell everyone. So this part of the story is a little bit juicy, and I guess it happened this way. So my dad's girlfriend at the time was friends with someone that I had been talking to online. Again, me living another life on MySpace because I was afraid of what people thought of me in person. So I kind of got to know people through MySpace and other social media platforms, and I showed interest in them. And I remember there being a lot of people that I looked up to and I started having feelings for and I started talking to, and I was always scared to meet them. I never would have met them. And remind you, this is high school. So junior and senior year was my first time really talking to guys. And before that, I lied to everyone about it and I told them I had a girlfriend or I was not interested in them. And I would hang pictures of like Britney Spears on the walls. And come on, if you knew me, you would know that these were just up there because I like her. And Carrie Underwood became an obsession in high school. And these were just girls that I thought were genuinely pretty. Blonde, who were attractive and can sing or were entertaining. I always found it to be something I enjoyed when someone's entertaining. With cheerleading, things like that, I used to pretend I would date girls. And I did date girls and I did have feelings for them, but it wasn't a feeling of love. I would say it's more a feeling of a close friendship and someone I can trust if I were to ever tell them I was gay and I wasn't interested. And I did date girls. I've kissed girls before. And that's about it. I have not done anything else, nor will I ever want to or try to. It's just not my thing. And I guess I learned that in high school. And junior year, back to the story of how I came out of the closet. Junior year, I was up at my mom's house. My mom and dad were divorced, and I got a phone call from my dad's girlfriend at the time saying, "Hey, are you talking to this guy?" I'm just gonna make a name up. Mike. His name wasn't Mike, but we're gonna use Mike. "Hey, are you friends with my friend Mike?" I said, "No." "Why?" I lied. Well, apparently Mike and my dad's girlfriend and my dad were all at a bar together, and he had mentioned that he was talking to someone from Toms River where we lived, and he was excited to meet up with him. Didn't say any names, but kind of hinted at the fact that it was me, not knowing that he was talking to my dad and my dad's girlfriend at the time. And my dad, being the smart person he is, started asking questions like, "Oh, where did you meet him? Oh, MySpace, that's good." And then the guy Mike was like, "Yeah, his grandmother just passed away." And in my dad's head, he realized that, hey, my son's grandmother just passed away. So he kept asking questions to this guy Mike, and Mike kept giving him more hints that he was talking to his son. And this was not something that I blame on anyone. I have no hard feelings for anyone for any of this happening. But I remember getting that phone call saying, "Hey, where are you?" For my dad's girlfriend at the time. "Where are you? Your dad just found out that you are gay." And my first thought was, cool. What? And now what? I was not scared of my dad. I was not afraid of what he would say or what he would do. I wasn't home at the time, so I went into my mom and I told her, "Hey, this is what's happening. Daddy is at a bar with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend is friends with someone that I'm talking to. And yes, I've expressed feelings for this person and I planned on meeting them. But again, I was innocent and I never met anyone offline. I was scared. So ideally, would I have met this person? Probably not. But it just so happened that he was in Toms River and he went out to eat with my dad and his girlfriend. And I guess they were at the same place at the same time and started bringing up conversation about the cheerleading team that I helped out, and brought up that someone lost a grandparent. And my dad's first instinct was, "Hey, that's my son. And you're talking about my son." And I'm not sure if it was just a fatherly instinct of him trying to protect me, basically figuring out if this was the truth and if this was me or if this was someone else. But all of the hints that Mike gave to him led him to believe that it was his son he was talking about. So that's how my dad found out. And I blatantly just went and told my mom. Neither one of that, well, starting with my mom, she was like, are you going to go home and talk to your dad? And I didn't think it needed to be done. So I said, no, I'm not rushing home to drive home to go see him, to talk to him about why I'm gay. So after a few hours, I ended up driving back home with my brother and sister in the car, and we got home and my dad wasn't there. So I went in my room, I locked the door. Again, I wasn't scared. I think I was on the phone with one of my friends when all this happened, and this is back before cell phones were a thing. So I was on the house phone and I would pretend I was off the phone and just put the phone underneath my pillow, and my friend, whoever it would be on the phone listening to what was going on. So I remember my dad coming home, and for a few minutes I was kind of nervous, and he ran into my room, busted open my door, or tried to bust open my door. It was locked, and he ended up breaking the door, and the frame of the door was broken, and he sat there, and I think he was more upset that I didn't tell him and he found out in a different way. He was yelling, screaming, didn't really seem to, it wasn't something dangerous. I wasn't worried about what he was going to do. My dad was one of the most easygoing parents growing up. We went through a lot, so I think he kind of was lenient with us and our behavior as kids, and he tried to be scary when he needed to be, but we knew deep down that he was not a scary man. He cared about us and he loved us, and anything that happened with our family, we got through together as a family. And I remember him just looking at me confused as to why I didn't tell him. And I remember him just walking out of the room. Nothing was said. And then that night, we were all called to the living room. This was our family meeting spot, and my dad was sitting on one side of the couch and I was on the other, far away from him. And me being the drawer and the artist that I am, I was sitting there drawing pictures. Sorry, that is my pump beeping. Sitting there drawing pictures, and him asking me questions like, do you know this person? Do you know Mike? I said, yes, I know him. I've been talking to him for a little bit on MySpace or whatever. Does he have your phone number? Does he know where you live? No, I did not give out any of that information. And he was just confused. He asked all the normal questions that I think every father would ask. So when did you find out? When did you know you were gay? What are you attracted to in men? And that's a conversation that I don't think anyone ever wants to have with their father or anyone in general. I didn't want to sit there and say like, hey, yeah, I'm not attracted to girls in that way. Like, how do I explain it? I really can't. And my dad didn't understand it. I was the first person in, I think, my whole family that ever came out to being openly gay. And it was something that made me who I am today. I guess I'm not afraid of what people think. I'm not afraid of how I act or what I post on social media. If people don't agree with me, then they're not my friend, or I just tell them, see you later. Like, I don't know what to say. But my dad sat there and he was asking me all these questions. He actually blamed it on the show, Shot at Love with Tila Tequila. I don't know if any of you remember that, but basically it was a reality TV show, and the girl Tila Tequila, who I don't even know if she's around anymore, she was bisexual. She was open and bisexual on her dating show, and she was looking for love, and she was trying to decide whether she wanted to fall in love with a man or a woman. And my dad knew I watched that show, and I guess I had an interest in it because I was attracted to the people on that show. So he basically said, you can't watch that show anymore. That's brainwashing you. I don't think you need to be watching that. So I remember sitting there on my piece of paper, drawing a picture of A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila, because basically he thought that I was brainwashed into this, or that led me to believe this is who I was. And after he basically asked all the questions, he said, so is there any shot that you like girls? Like, are you bisexual? And I think at the time I told him, yeah, I'm open to dating girls. And remind you, this is me as a junior in high school, junior or senior year. He asked if I was interested in the girls that I dated, and I think I blatantly lied to him and said yes. He asked like, what in a man interests me, and that was hard to explain to my dad, who I never wanted to make embarrassed or anything like that. But ultimately, in the end of this, he was okay with it. And remind you, he found out in a way that I didn't ideally want him to know or my family to know. I knew there was a time and a place for things to come out and for this to be addressed, but I didn't want it to be put on my dad and his girlfriend at the time and it just be a big explosion. I don't know how I would feel if I were to find something out from a stranger about my kids who I would hope trust me. So I do feel bad that I never told my family first, but it kind of opened my eyes to a lot of different things that people ultimately did not care. Nothing changed after I came out. I didn't tell anyone in high school for a while after that. I wasn't openly gay in high school. I didn't tell everyone that, hey, I like guys, and I didn't want to be that poster child of my high school and be made fun of, because back then it wasn't as okay, and it wasn't as acceptable as it is now. And I think one of my big things was, if I was gay, how was I going to get married, and how was I going to ever have kids? And thinking back, I think that was my biggest fear of being openly gay with anyone. I thought I wasn't going to be able to get married. I thought I would never have kids, and look at me now. I'm married to the most amazing person in the entire world who supports me in everything I do. And in a few months, I will be a dad. And this is something that I never thought would be possible. In high school, there was never an openly gay couple that had kids and led a successful life, but I think I'm doing pretty good. And I think everything that I've been through in my life kind of has brought me to where I am today. And I don't think I would change anything, because I think everything I learned throughout my years of high school, college, relationships brought me to where I am today. I have no regrets with anything that has happened in the past, because I learned from my mistakes. I learned from my experiences. And I think that is why I'm such an easygoing or honest person, and I will listen to anything people have to say, I guess because I went through so much growing up. But coming out was something that I ultimately struggled with, because I didn't know how to do it. And when the opportunity was given to me, I didn't have a choice. It was just thrown at me, and boom, there we go. Both of my parents knew that I was gay and I was attracted to men. And I remember the first time I started dating my first boyfriend, my mom knew, my mom was supportive, and my dad had no problem with it. And it just felt so nice to be loved and supported by my family members. My brother and sister didn't care. They still don't care. And no one in my family has ever not supported me in anything I've done. Ultimately, I think our family is so close and our friend circle is so small that there's no room for anyone to talk about anyone or be negative about something. And I guess I'm fortunate to have such a close niche of family and friends that supported me throughout high school and everything, and are still supporting me today to my journey, or our journey, to becoming dads. Like I said from the beginning of this whole experience, our end goal is to be parents. And in a few months, that dream is becoming a reality. And looking back at my high school years, if you would have told me that I would be where I am today, I would have said you're lying. If you told me that I would be an openly gay person and have a family of my own and be married and have a nice house and do everything that I've ever dreamed of, I wouldn't believe you, because I didn't know what life would be like. And again, I am so fortunate that I have such a strong support system of people who cared and loved me for who I am and still do today. And it just shows that it doesn't matter what you are, gay, straight, bisexual, purple, yellow, black, white, brown, any color. We live in a society where most things are acceptable, and I think that is why I am who I am today. So this is a little bit about me. Ooh, this was not a little bit. This was like 25 minutes of my story of how I came out and a little bit of behind the scenes on my childhood and how amazing it has been and how supportive everyone has been. And that's it. I just wanted to share with you guys that it's going to be okay if you're going through something or there's reasons why you're hiding things. Just remember that the people that care for you are going to care for you no matter what. Don't live your life regretting something or not doing something, because in the end, the outcome might be something that you never dreamed of. And I think I am a prime example of that. So with that being said, I'm not going to bore you anymore. We are so excited that in the upcoming weeks that we have a lot of things planned. We hope to go see our surrogate and see the babies or feel the babies for the first time. And I can't wait. Me and Adam cannot wait. Our house is finally coming together, as you can see in the background. Every day it's a new project, and every day we're trying to do something new just to better our kids. Because once they're here, we know that we are not going to have time to do this. Every day we get deliveries behind the scenes on the sides. We have things that get delivered to us every day off of our registry, or things that people just think we're going to need. And it has been amazing. And I think this whole journey has just opened my eyes to life in general. So again, thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a little bit about me, and I hope you have been enjoying all the social media posts and all the fun live Facebook events that we've been sharing with you guys on this amazing journey to becoming dads. And if you like this content or you want to know more, please reach out. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to share with friends, because ultimately, I wish I had someone that would tell me it would be okay back in high school. And I want to be that person. We want to be those people that kind of are a positive role model for others. So be sure to spread the love, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you later. Bye.